Good afternoon, everybody. I would say good morning, but I started this later than what I liked. I got the grind on. I was out there grinding. That's what I was doing this morning. I went out for a walk, got off my lazy ass. We went to the sun circle, meditated for 20 minutes, found a little rock, a little pretty rock. You can check out my Instagram at Ed Draws. Here's a little voice from our sponsor saying the same thing that I've recorded, not letting it go to waste. So I'm throwing that in there.
And don't forget to support me on my Patreon at Ed Draws. It is spelled EDDRAWRS. Also, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel where I would try to post these podcasts weekly, Monday to Thursday. Thank you.
Yes, you heard that right. Monday to Thursday. I know I miss Monday. I be slacking. I'm only human, guys. Whatever the fuck we are. Spirit energy trapped inside of metaphysical form in this reality. Fake reality. Matrix. Whatever you want to call it. Either way, we alive. We going. And I actually need my little notebook. I wrote some things that I wanted to tell you guys. Or talk about. Whatever works. I did it last night. It's all about positivity and really setting your standards, knowing what you want to do, planning out for the future. We're moving over here to living room. I'm sure you guys can hear the reverb or echo. Got my paper here. Let's see what I wrote down. Because I really just want to talk about inspiring things, I like to talk a lot of shit. I like to talk about my ideas. But some of y'all just need some good old, genuine loaf. You need some loaf. And here we go. I wrote, you are great, and you will become successful. Something you need to tell yourself to really believe and manifest. That you will become successful. Don't second doubt yourself. Literally all my life, I never saw anything other than success and being on a stage and presenting myself and just like reaching the highest level of my potential. I never could see anything else. Sometimes I do fall out of that mindset and I'm like, fuck, is this really possible? Or blah, 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 just get in a low vibration. But like, honestly, I'm telling you, throughout my entire life, I never saw anything but like achieving my goals. And I guess that's that. Like, I don't know how to rub that off on people. Like, how to you just gotta really believe in yourself. I mean, it's easy. This is what I always thought. Like, look at an adult, a successful adult. Where do they come from? They come from a baby. They came from nothing. It doesn't matter what their path was, what they received. It's like they still had to play it out. And they came from a baby with nothing. Literally nothing. Built cell by cell. Someone downloaded information into them. They got experience from the outside world. And they managed to be successful. Whatever your definition may be. Just look at anybody. Because there's got to be someone you want to be like, someone you view as a role model, like anything. They all came from babies, all came from absolutely nothing. Here's the second one. You will lead and be a better example / role model. You need to think about the children. Always. They're always watching. Everything you do imprints on them. And think about this. When you were a kid, when you saw someone older than you, you kind of idolize them. If they can do something you really want to do. Like, they show you something amazing. Like, I really think about that when I show kids magic and my car's handling skills and everything like that. Like, my drawing and everything. Like, it doesn't matter. You're inspiring them. They see you as like a superhero. Because they're nowhere near to being capable as you are right now. If you're like 18, 20, 25, 30, it doesn't matter. A little kid is just starting out and you show them something cool. It ignites the whole world just right there. Sets a fire in them. Like, oh my God, I can do that. Well, that's what you need to reinforce in them. Like, yeah, you can grow up to do better than me. Which is exciting. Whatever you want to do, you can do it better than me, which is amazing. Here's another one. You are beautiful and capable. If you don't believe every single goddamn human being on earth is beautiful, then there is something wrong with you. They may be ugly at times, but they hold the same blueprint as what you are made out of, what you are led to be. We all got arms, legs. Some people don't, but there's blueprint. They're supposed to have them limbs. Like, this goes into a whole nother conversation, but human beings have the most deformities in the animal kingdom. It's got to do with fucking polluting ourselves every fucking day, driving these fucking cars, smoking out the fucking window, and eating fucking shit, having the whole fucking food industry with, like, fucking just throwing cows and chickens in cages and having them all hoarded up. Like, you don't think that does something affecting like our growth, and people want to switch to being vegan, but you realize they use pesticides on that? You realize they're just spraying it with pesticides, your lettuce, your salads, whatever. Like, there's no difference. You're gonna have to grow your own produce off your own land, have your own animals, use a microscope, like, really know what you're doing. And like, it's just so complicated. That's why information is compartmentalized, however you say it. And you're supposed to pay for education, which is the absolute most idiotic thing ever. If we're all one country and we're prideful about who we are, then why aren't we handing out education to build our people up? Oh no, motherfucker. You're gonna have to pay and be in debt to learn how to fix people's teeth, and that's all you can do? Yeah. Good job, America. Go 5, 6, 7 years. How much is it? Who cares? Years of your life wasted when you could have just watched the YouTube tutorial from someone who already does the job right and hands you down their wisdom, their knowledge and wisdom. Maybe that's how you learn how to do anything, is mentorship at the highest rate of success. Just like how I learned how to do art, music, magic, martial arts, rapping, singing, everything that I do off of YouTube. Because all it takes is someone who already knows it filming themselves and teaching you and taking you through the process. Like, what was the difference from school when they taught you math? They literally showed you the answer. The equation is the answer. You just need to break it down and translate it to a simplified version. 2 plus 2 is 4. Literally that entire statement, like 4 equals 4. It's the same thing. It's just variety or different structure. Anyways, I'm going off in a tangent. Be effective and efficient. Efficient and effective. I can't stress this enough. Why would you do something twice when you could do it right the first time? That is efficiency right there, ladies and gentlemen. I try to be aware of so many things that I do, such as like folding clothes. Be a pro at folding clothes, because it's something you're always gonna do. Be a pro at washing dishes. Be a pro at walking. Simple act of walking. I mastered the art of walking and speed walking because I'm so aware of my feet. I never wanted to be tripped. I tell people that all the time. I'm aware of every step I take. And you can choose not to believe me, but if you see how I walk, like my friends used to call it, the future walk, it's like the proof is in the pudding, guys. I do advanced walking and I could do speed walking, and it's very important to learn this if you see value in it, which I do. Because think of this. When you jog, you move your whole entire body. Like you're bouncing, right? When you jog, you increase your heart rate. As I said, you're vibrating your entire body. You're forcing your heart to work. When I speed walk, And I learned like my speed walk is almost as quick as jogging. I don't bounce up the way I would if I jogged. So my heart rate is the same as if I was standing still in a way. So imagine that I can be as fast as you walking. Well, I would be speed walking, catching up to you jogging. And guess what? I would last 10 times longer because my heart rate isn't going up. Because I'm not working that hard for it. Because I'm not bouncing up and down. I'm like sliding forward, twisting my feet. Like, it's a weird way to explain it. How my speed walking works. And there's a lot of like, it's like intricate detail, I guess. Like handling. Like once you get the good feel in your handling, it's kind of like you could feel every little thing. Right? So that's how I do my walking. I know how to like be precise and really push myself forward. And that's like a superpower right there. I got superpowers. And all you had to do is be aware and try to be efficient and be effective. That's how you be effective, is by being efficient. Okay, here's the next one. Plan out your successes. Your successes. Don't plan for failure. Have a backup plan, but plan out your successes. Know what you want to achieve and what you will achieve. And that's like, I guess what I was trying to put more is like, give yourself a win, little wins here and there, and don't plan for failure. Just seek it out of what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do it, and make them worth something. Like me walking today, I build on myself. It's not just me going out and getting air and blah blah blah. It's me building up. I'm gonna have that walk in me for the rest of my life, because that's all working out is you push yourself so you could do it more. You lift 20 pounds. After a month of working out, lifting that 20 pounds, you move up to 30 pounds. You move up to 40 pounds, 50. Like, that's the whole point. You just got to be consistent with it. So always better to plan out what you're gonna do. And next one is build an emergency fund. So that's kind of like planning for failure, I guess. But no, that's kind of like, that's what everyone should have. You know, like a rainy day fund. There's gonna be dents in your curves on the road. Whatever you say. You know what I'm trying to say. That's all that matters. I can't speak sometimes. I can't grasp. Like, I don't know. But just like that. It sounds like I'm having an aneurysm. But we still move along. Like I said, I actually did start yesterday a podcast, like 20 some minutes, and I deleted it because I was like, this sounds bad. But that's the whole point, is I keep going, and eventually you get better at it. So I don't talk like this. Like, I don't know how to communicate or know what I'm saying. But, you know, like, that's all it is practice. Communicating is a skill. Talking is a skill. And processing is a skill too. So the more I do it, eventually I'll get fluent with it. More ideas would come out, flow naturally. I would know how to segue and transition between ideas. I would know how to bring up more interesting topics. I know how to go more in depth and relate it to the main idea. Just things like that, which really come in handy to getting someone's attention. And this type of stuff that we were supposed to get taught in high school, but in high school they just really let you do whatever the fuck you want, you know? It's like, how do you teach a kid or a human being a certain way to live their life when living life is about what you want and your happiness? You get what I mean? It's like, that's how this one dude was talking about trying to critique art or teach art. Is there's no real way for you to do it Because you think there is a way for you to like, oh, you're supposed to copy this, you're supposed to practice with eyes, figures, blah, blah, blah. But if you do it that way, then you lose your sense of style because you're copying everyone else. You get what I mean? Like, Pablo Picasso has that famous quote when he says, like, I wish I would have always drawn like a kid. Or something like that, He's basically saying, like, a kid's imagination or the way a kid draws is like masterclass artist, which is just like direct interpretation of what you want to see. So it doesn't matter if you're a good artist and draw something picture perfect. It's more about just the idea. Can you make something look like something and still hold meaning? Like if I try to draw a piano, you just need to notice like the white and black keys and the structure. It don't need to look fucking clean and perfect rectangle and use a ruler and get the dimensions and depth and everything like that. No, you just gotta know that's a piano. The moment you see it, that's a piano. That's a guitar. That's a shoe. That's a person. That's it. That is art right there. When I could speak to you through something I make. So yeah, it's really in depth, mind blowing. And we're moving on to the next one. Recall meaningful experiences. So I really enjoy going through my phone and going through times and places of just like times where I was having fun, enjoying myself, just recording stuff out of the blue. Like you really get sucked into it. Like with my old phone, I got the Google Pixel 2 XL, which is like the greatest phone ever made, which I'm starting to realize because it's so fucking durable. It's so sleek and clean. And like I started using it for music today, for my walk and stuff. I took both of my phones. And it's just like incredible to look back on everything. Like it's basically like another life that I had. Because this one I actually had with my ex. So I have pictures of her and stuff, like messages that we sent. Well, just pictures and stuff and like videos, Snapchats, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It was like in a whole different time, whole different person. And it just really sucked me out of right now, what I'm going through right now. And it comforts me like, oh, this is who I used to be. And the fact that I have video just really just shoves you in that place. Like you're back in there with your friends, fucking smoking, going on car rides, just messing around or gym time or whatever. And it's a beautiful thing. Like you always gotta record your most meaningful experiences. And sometimes you don't even think they're that meaningful. Sometimes it could just be a random moment. Because in the future, when you look back, it's a whole different feel. It's hard to grasp. Like right now, in this moment, this second, this absolute time frame or whatever the fuck is in a way non-existent. But it's all you have right now. But imagine looking back in 5 years. It's like right now I'm sitting on the floor of my apartment. I ain't got no bed. I'm on the sheets. But in 5 years, I might have a wife and a whole house and a different job. I might be in a whole different state. And looking back right now, how I'm bored, like sitting bored, how I'm trying to figure out what to do, what to eat, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's going to be irrelevant to my future self. But just looking back to this moment might be so meaningful to my future self because everything could change completely. It's like looking back is like, it's kind of like looking at a whole nother person's life. But you can relate to it directly because it was you. But it's not you anymore. And that's such a beautiful thing. It's like a time capsule, We should do more time capsules. And that's basically what that means. Like recall meaningful experiences. Always hold those to you. I think that's what should be the point of life, is building upon positive experiences, not trying to make them and have them. Is just like carry them, drag them out to the greatest extent. Something like that. Okay, next one. Remember, everyone has a voice, but some aren't capable of expressing theirs. So what I mean by that is, like, always had this idea of, yes, you can do everything, right? You're capable of reaching your most full potential, outreaching to everybody, touching everybody's heart, and doing all that you want to do, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? Everyone else has the capabilities too. So you can't put yourself above others, because no matter how you see yourself, someone else is already doing it, is already at a better person than you. In a way, not better, but you know what I mean? Like, if you want to be a bodybuilder, someone's already at the top. If you want to be the fastest person, someone's already at the top. You want to be the nicest, the coolest, blah, 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 the tallest, the smartest, the best at whatever the fuck. Someone's already been there, done that, lived it, died in it, died doing it, or whatever. So it's like, it's such a weird thing. But also, just like the voice, everyone has a voice, but not everyone is capable of expressing it. So what I mean by that too is, like, we're supposed to be more expressive, because everyone is somebody, and some people are really disconnected from who they are, and it's not their fault. Sometimes you don't know. Someone could have just a learning disability. They were born different. They had experiences way different from yours, and they're literally incapable of expressing themselves because they're not as articulate as maybe me, who has been rapping this, like, for however long I've been doing it, like 5 years writing, right? Of course I'm gonna be a better speaker, better presenter, someone who's better to, like, articulate my thoughts and translate them through my mouth or whatever, because I've been doing it for so long. It's a skill, and I practiced it, and always been good at presenting. And some people just don't have that in them. They can't be put on the spot just because of who they are, you know? It's not necessarily a bad thing, but, like, some people are just followers. So you need a lead. You need to find out, are you a follower or a leader? And then do what you are meant to do. If you're a leader, find who the people that don't have a voice. Find people younger than you. Find people below your level in whatever skill you have, and lead them forward. There's always something you can provide and give. And I figured that the best way for everyone to have a voice is, like, through this podcast. Eventually, I'm trying to interview everybody. Doesn't matter if this is the most popular fucking podcast in the world. Like, eventually, if I drag people into it, like, just interviewing, conversations, blah, 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 it's gonna build momentum. You know? Like, what if the moment I have someone on, everybody wants to listen because it's that person? You know? What do I have to say to them? What do they have to say? And at the end of the day, I just hope that it's just expressiveness. I just want to hear everybody. It doesn't matter what the fuck we agree on, who you are. It's just, I'm giving you that platform, that freedom, the fact that I could stay and listen to you and not care or try to start a fight. Like, that's something difficult to find. Like, exactly like Joe Rogan. That's why he has so much success. Like, how are you gonna get angry when you know a lot of people are listening to you? You know, it's kind of like trying to be real while the internet's fake. Like, that's why shit feels fake, is because there's rules, regulations, and you could get banned and blah blah blah. But it's like, you can't be real, because real life is like death and rape and all these horrible things that happen. I mean, no one wants to see it, but it's real, and that's the fact. That's the reason it gets blocked, because no one wants to see that shit. So it's not on YouTube. You're not gonna find murder on YouTube, but it's out there. It's real. So that's what I hope to accomplish with this. Like, be real, but you don't have to be, like, real, where you're, like, exposing yourself. Obviously, we all do messed up things. Sometimes, like, we all make mistakes. We all make We all sometimes get pushed to our limits and do things we didn't think we would do, and like feel ashamed or whatever it could be. You know what I mean? You can expose yourself in that way, but it puts you on your toes where it's like you don't want to say certain shit that could start shit for no reason, right? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's like you're gonna have beliefs that may oppose from everybody, but at least you're having your voice heard. And I don't know, it's a weird thing. Cause like I feel like I should be able to say everything I want, because it's in the name of expression, of being an artist. And at the end of the day too, I could just flip it around and be like, oh, but I'm also a comedian. So it was in the name of just making you laugh. So it has nothing to do with being serious. But at the same time, yes. Like it's just all hectic. But at the end of the day, it is just labels. Some people just want to get mad at you for no reason. And I feel like the label game is the way you play it against them. Like, oh, you can't say that, Ed. Well, I'm a comedian. So, yeah, I can make jokes about this. And also, I'm an artist, so I'm about expression. So, yeah, I can say that. Like, and I know I'm a magician, so I do have my foot in the door for that. You can't deny me of what I hold just because you dislike yourself as a person and you're projecting it on me. If you know love is the answer, then why isn't it just all love? Oh, but you found out my ideals are different from you and I see life in a different way, so now you're just gonna throw away all your positivity and be drowning in negative. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. I know it's all jumbled up. But like I said, we're gonna get better with time. I'm just trying to flow with the thoughts. That's why I wrote this, so I could have cues on what to talk about. And we move into the next one, which is know your abilities and your reach. We all have different abilities, different skills. And I wish that, well, I hope that we wake up to see that. Like, hey, Ed is good at entertaining. Hey, this person's good at talking to people. Hey, this person's good at organizing. Hey, this person's good at writing stuff down, doing paperwork, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it may be. Like, we're supposed to be a unit. And everyone does whatever they do best in that unit, right? And I feel like it starts with family. It always starts with family because you have that experience and connection that you grew up together, and that's something you can't take away. Kind of like when you have a dog and you raise it, it's always going to be attached to you because you're the one that raised it since a kid. It's like we have the same type of mindset when the people we grow up with, we just have a place in our hearts for, because you saw them grow up. Like, it's such a different feel. And like the same thing with like high school, like that's usually how you make so many of your friends, because just you went through the same experience together. That's literally it. And yeah, it does go the other way out. Like, some of your friends from high school are just your friends just because you were in the same high school. Literally just because of that. They don't really care about you or have to care about you. It's all situational. And that's just how shit is. You know, but it's really really effective, or it's the best thing to just know what you can do and what you can provide and what everyone else provides. And the next one, build positive networks. Build upon positive networks. If you're a good person, or you believe you're a good person, then you should be doing the most good that you can do. Do you really believe you're doing the most good? Loving the most. Being thoughtful as much as you can. That's really something we should build upon with networks. Hey, I know you're a good person and you're into this. Here's another good person that I know. That's how you know that person's a good person. And they're interested in the same thing you are. So that's your connection right there. All you do is hit them up. Hey, I heard you blah, blah, blah. And I know this because of this person. Wait, you know that person? And that's how you start building positive networks. Like, I feel like some people don't realize this about me is that I try to be a good person my entire life, right? And I stay quiet, which means I attract a lot of people that are good and kind because they see what I am, right? Someone who has a lot of self-control. I'm not gonna fucking kill you or disrespect you in your house. So I'm pretty approachable. Except for the way I present myself, because it's like headphones on, fuck away from me. That's because the way I was brought up and just always walked around this shitty city and had to be, because I know if you don't fucking make contact with these tweakers, they won't really approach you or feel the incentive to approach you. You know, it's kind of like welcoming them to you know, like leaving your door open for them to say something when you give eye contact. That's like with anybody. If you look away, look down, mind your own business, they leave you alone. So that's just like embedded in me from school and walking, being young and just like knowing how this city is. Like, you can't tell me it's not that bad or I shouldn't be that way. When I was younger living with my mom, our neighbor had the fucking key to our apartment and would sneak in and take shit. Like, how are you gonna tell me it's not that bad when I grew up around that? When I see my mom getting chased by a fucking dude with a knife telling her to open a cash register. And I see my friends fucking getting held up and shit. Like, you know, like, it's just what it is. You gotta stay on your guard, and you literally don't know who the fuck is just gonna try to kill you for no fucking reason or try to fucking do something. Like, you don't know. Doesn't matter how they look. I remember walking one time with my ex-girlfriend. We were fucking walking to the store or whatever, and this lady passed us by, and she literally had a knife hanging on a chain. And she grabbed that shit like we were a threat to her. It was like a little ass tweaker lady. Like, bitch, I'll fucking kick you into the road and you'll die in 2 seconds. Why are you trying to start something? Like, people are just living Fallout out here. And the Fallout hasn't even happened. Motherfucking tweakers be looking like ghouls. There's people scavenging in the trash cans. Don't even... in front of everybody. People just sleeping everywhere, smelling like shit. Like, god damn it, why don't we fucking do something about it? Or at least, at the very least, acknowledge it. Why isn't the only thing you're fucking talking about that your city's going to shit, that the inhabitants are turning to fucking shit, and there's a drug epidemic, and the younger kids are doing Xanax, fucking Adderall, fucking pills, Molly, whatever the fuck. And now they're growing up to be depressive fucks that don't want to do anything. And everyone smokes weed. And that's another thing we won't admit. Everybody's on fucking drugs. Doesn't matter what the fuck you do. Do you drink coffee? That's a drug. Do you fucking drink soda? That's a drug. It's fucking caffeine, which is mind altering. And also changes your fucking biological environment. If you drink a soda a day and you keep fucking changing that shit or manipulating it, like, you're fucking yourself up. There's a lot of shit that's not supposed to be inside you that we consume all the fucking time. You drink alcohol, that's a fucking drug. It's a hard fucking drug. You know how many fucking domestic disputes or domestic violence has happened from under the influence of alcohol? More than weed. The worst anyone's done on weed is probably crash into their own damn fucking house while driving but I know a lot of competent fucking weed smokers that can drive. It's not that hard. But alcohol, it literally fucks your motor skills up. It literally fucks with your motor skills, makes you more aggressive, like bumps up your fucking ego. And I see it with everybody that drinks. Like heavily drinks. Like, you're not you when you're under the influence. So why the fuck you gonna tell me it's not that bad? It's literally not you. Like, do you understand that? You wouldn't harm me as just you. But under the influence, it's not you anymore. So you will fucking harm me. That's what I fucking am aware of. I don't give a fuck if you're my family. I don't give a fuck who you are. You're leading yourself or allowing yourself to get possessed. So at that point, I see you as a potential threat. And I will fucking kill you before I let you kill me. Because I'm perfectly capable of being extremely dangerous. And that's just some real knowledge. Some real shiz to drop on you guys. Because a lot of you just get too comfortable. And you know, I'm going to have my aunt on here. She says she wants to tell me stories about when she was younger. And think about this. She's told me a little bit. She says she's lived through paradise when she was younger. She used to live off the land. It would be... She said it was the movies, basically. Like, all the fucking Disney movies you see. That's basically my life. That's what I live. She thought she was a princess and, like, had fucking horrible parents running away and thinking, like, y'all treat me like shit. But she said she got attached to the animals. And her parents would be like cruel, or she saw them as cruel because it's like, that's our livestock, that's what we eat. But she's like, why? This is our friends, this is our animals, this is our family. And she even said like she would get so mad. She's like, she was lucky that she didn't have a gun because she would have shot everybody. That's how she attached she was and how much she loved those animals that she took care of. But I started to realize it's like your parents saw you as one of the animals. They were too comfortable. They were living in paradise off the land. They had everything. And think about that. They had everything. At that point, they had a lot of kids too. I have a lot of aunts and uncles. Think about that. How do you give so much special care to one child when you have like 10 children? At that point, they're livestock. They didn't care fuck about my aunt because they saw her as livestock. You were one of them. You were the children. But guess what? We could just make more. They were already possessed. And it's just wild. I'm definitely hoping to have her on. She's gonna speak Spanish. I don't care. I can translate. Talk to her in Spanish. It'll be a crazy experience. Like, I really want to hear what she wants to say and what type of stories she has to bring to the table. It's like phenomenal. They're still alive, how they made it over here. Like, I want to know all that too. Like, I don't really know much about how we got here. All I know is like we come from drug dealers. And then we still lie about that. We still act like that shit don't happen. We just ignore it, keep going on. Like, oh, we made it to America. Everything's fine now. No, you dumb motherfuckers. We're right next to the border. We're playing a fucking game. We made it over the border. And now everything's fine. Sanctuary City. Does that not mean anything to you guys? We're living in Sanctuary City, which means your fucking cop can't ask you if you're illegal or not. What does that sound like? That sounds like someone made that so we kind of have a fucking advantage to the game, right? Because now one of your family members who's illegal can make it through the fucking desert of doom, and then no one's gonna tell them shit, because that's what this is. Don't ask, don't tell. Keep your business to yourself. So what does that allow? More immigrants to come in because no one's telling them shit, no one's asking them shit. More crime to happen, more fucking kid trafficking, drug trafficking, all fucking type of trafficking in general. because they also do organs for rich people that need shit. So don't you think it's easier to find a dead guy, kill somebody, and just take it? Because obviously there's actual real people that do need organs, but you get put on a wait list. And can you buy your way up? Maybe, but that's immoral. So a black market exists that we all know of, and I've seen videos. So best way for me, if I was rich, to get an organ, if I really need it and it was my fucking life on the line, I think I would go on a fucking deep web website and order me a fucking organ from a black market ran by people that don't give a fuck about other humans and will kill anyone on the street. So for any amount of money, so I just give them 10 grand. They go out and do what they always do, steal somebody, cut them up, send me the organs, or blah blah blah, and there you go. Business as usual, because it's about money. They don't see value in you unless you have money. That's why you're worth a lot, because of your organs, not because of you. You have to be famous or something, verified. Put something out there that captures the whole world's hearts. Oh my god. Moving on from that rant. Know who is there for you. That is a big one. Know who really is there for you at the end of the day. Like I said, it's hard for me to choose people. I think I was talking about this. I might have been talking to myself before I even started, but you really gotta know who will be there in an emergency for you, on call, do the most action. And it doesn't have to be a long list. It doesn't have to be everybody. You just need to have a little group, a small friend of groups that you can really rely on. And you gotta not test them, just make sure they're there. And try to be there for them in whatever they need. And sometimes some people can't speak. Like, I know I hate asking for help. I get trapped in my mind overthinking, and I do not ever want to ask for help. If I ask for help, it's either something I really can't do, or I already know you're gonna help me. And it's like I don't know. It's just a weird topic. Everything's just fucking weird. But know who's in your corner. Know who's really got your back. Know who you can be there for. And at the end of the day, we're all human. Try to be there for people around you. Like, just try to spread love and everything, which you know. In the smallest ways and the biggest ways. Always really think about your intentions and how it leaves a mark on other people and how they project it. Or you could be like me and just not give a fuck and do whatever you want and not care about other people's opinions, because there's an old video talking about how really care about other people's opinions or how they see you affects your mental health, which makes sense because you're always focused on eyes when you go outside and like who's watching you, and like, you know, the whole world's out there. Like, I remember when I was with my crazy ass ex a long time ago, she'd be like, oh, you did this in front of everybody. Like, everybody? You mean the two people in the house? Or when we were outside and there was literally nobody around, but because we were outside, you say it was in front of everybody? It's like, you really got to change your perspective. Not the entire world is not after your ass 24/7. They just don't give a fuck about you. They'll run you over because they're just living their lives and they don't give a fuck. It's not that they're actively trying to search for you to run you over and ruin your fucking life. There's just shit people out there. So really know who you got behind you. And here's the next one. Have people to build strong connections with. So people you already have in your life that you like, that you have interest in, keep them, build stronger connections, try to be there more for them, talk to them more, see what they're up to, try to care about the things they care about, and just build stronger connections, make them family. Like, this is what I lost with myself. Because when I would meet people or have girlfriends, I wouldn't really care to show them to anybody. You know, like, that's a piece of you. But I didn't really see it like that. Like, that's just my girlfriend. And then I would meet someone in the mall, and then she got to introduce herself or blah, 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 or don't even get introduced. And then she's like, why don't you introduce me? And I was like, what? Why don't you introduce your goddamn self? But I didn't see it like as, oh, you're a part of me. You're a part of me. You're not your own person anymore. You're a part of me. You're my partner. You're involved in everything, and everyone's got to know, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I always saw it more like, you're your own damn person. You do whatever you want. Like, I know we went to the mall together, and you're my girl, but you can walk off whenever the fuck you want. I literally have no control of you. Like, isn't that what everybody wants in a relationship? You still are your own person, but you got someone to come home to? Like no one tells me I'm ever wrong to my face, so how in the fuck am I ever gonna stop sucking my own dick, guys? Come on. Like, either y'all need to grow some balls and be like, Ed, what the fuck are you talking about? Or start following my lead, motherfuckers. And here, next one, have powerful conversations. This is what I do all the time with all my friends and my sister. Every time we see each other, it's just boom, deep into it. Life, relationships, love, general fucking issues, fucking work, fucking deep shit though, spiritual. Some of y'all get uncomfortable because of your religious views, because of blah blah blah. I don't give a fuck. I want to talk about why the fuck we exist and what the fuck everyone else is doing. Because my only goal is to save the fucking planet. And if you can't see that, you don't take me seriously. I don't give a fuck. That's what I am. I'm not going to change for you when that's how I lived my entire life in building myself up as. I never got what it's called. It's like a mater, matriarch. You know what I mean? A martyr. I think that's what it's called. Martyr. Like a sacrifice. Human sacrifice for the greater good. That's what I am. It's like, sorry to burst your bubble, guys, but I don't really plan on having a family. I don't really plan on being alive for too long. I want to die for a cause because that's what I am. I used to have visions of this shit, dreams of this. Like, I can't escape my fate. That's what I am. If you can't see that, oh well, you're gonna lose me, and you should have just put everything into me. All your pain, all your issues, all your ideals. Like that's the idea of Jesus. He died for our sins. It's like he didn't die to stop all sins. It's more like you were just supposed to see that all the bad you do is for no progression, right? Like, all the bad things you do, all the negative vibrations you spread will have no impact positive, which is to build up, right? Make better connections with love and positivity. That's all that is. Like, life and death, but we choose life. So if you're going the negative route, you're going to death, which is non-existence. So you need to do everything that builds upon anything, just up in positivity and love and blah blah blah. And I kind of lost my train of thought. Either way, I have powerful conversations is the only way to build up. Like the same thing with building stronger connections. That's how you have them, is having powerful conversations, digging into yourself and what it means to be human. I feel like this is what holds us back too, is like you're so attached to the idea of you. You won't say like, hey, this happened to me and I feel like this, or I think like this and blah blah blah. It's like, that's not even you. Your words are not you. Don't be stupid. You didn't come up with the English language. Every idea you ever had has already been thought before by smarter fucking people. By how many human beings have existed since us? You really think they haven't had a thought just like you? Like, sure, their environment was different. Their fucking objects, their day-to-day fucking things they use are so different. But, I mean, aren't you the same? Because you still need hygiene to live. You still take showers like the ancient people did. You still have conversations like ancient as people did. And they have the same limbs, same frame, same blueprint as you. So most of the things they did are translated into the things that we do now. Kind of like how they would play games, basketball, do theater, and all that. And then we still do the same shit. Watch movies, which is theater, just as filmed and edited with fucking whatever. Drawing, like when I draw, is that not ancient as fuck? Like, doesn't that go back to cave drawings? They were doing art on fucking walls to communicate. So when I draw, I'm being in touch with fucking the first ancestors ever of human beings. That's what's powerful. It's really digging into your roots. Don't think you're special. We're special in the way that this is it. This is all we got. We don't know nothing else but this. Doesn't matter what the fuck you want to talk about or say you experienced. Even if you have proof of God, it's like, doesn't matter. This is all we got. So what are you gonna fucking do about it? Because the war exists, famine exists, poverty exists. There's so much unnecessary death, so much unnecessary fucking torture, pain, and it's either like you avoid it or you fix it. You avoid it or you fix it. Because it's always going to be there. And we do have the power to have control over it. Like if you believe in MLK, he said injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. But what is injustice? Human dying for no reason? Well, that's all in your perspective, because maybe they were meant to die. That's like how shit gets weird. Because then you start thinking about like what George Carlin said is like there's a divine plan placed in place by God, right? But if everyone with a prayer can fucking ask for something and it's not in the divine plan, then aren't you changing like God's whole fucking plan just to fulfill your need? Like, how does that make any sense? But like I said, like, this is just weird. Like, I don't think there's a defined answer to anything. Everything's just ideas. There's no way to even express life. It's just, you just live it. It's just the breath. Everything I say is just meaningless, because at the end of the day, what I say could be true and could not be true, but still all we have is just this. And everything's just words and ideals and constructs, and we just keep it going, because the moment you stop, you get afraid. You're like, wait, we're just alive. We're just all alive at the same time. We're just here living, and then we all got our own lives, and all this is happening. Like, yes, there's no way to explain it. And it's, you just live it. And I don't think you're necessarily supposed to enjoy it. You're supposed to eliminate suffering. That's what I gotta look for. Here it is. It's the Jordan Peterson says it. Because Jordan Peterson, it's not really like, it's like his rules for life. He's not trying to enforce them. He's just telling you how it is, right? Like, there is a way of just how it is. A right way to do it, a wrong way to do it. What? I'm trying to find this right here. So life is suffering, right? Love is the desire to see unnecessary suffering ameliorated. Ameliorated. I don't know what that means or how to say that word, but either way, it makes sense. Truth is the handmaiden of love. Dialogue is the pathway to truth. Humility is the recognition of personal insufficiency and the willingness to learn. To learn is to die voluntarily and be born in great ways and small. So speech must be untrammeled so that dialogue can take place, so that we can all humbly learn, so that truth can serve love, so that suffering can be ameliorated. Which I guess just means like accepted or conformed with, dealt with, right? So that's how you know love is the answer, though. Love is that you want to see people who are struggling. You want to help them out when you know you can help them out, or they're struggling for absolute no reason. Why is there no reason to help them out when you know you can and there's no reason for them to fucking be suffering? So that is love. And you need truth. Truth is the handmaiden of love, which means what we all agree upon in this reality is what is truth. Because we can't make things happen if we're all living in our own fictional world, like literal fictional. Because we do have that ability to have our imagination and then live with it. You know, I could be running around being like, oh, my name is this and I'm this, and fucking never stick to anything. And then that's just not truth anymore, because no one else agrees upon it. It's just me doing me. And dialogue is a pathway to truth. So we need to talk about it, because that's the only way we communicate. You know, like, hey, I saw a car. Hey, I saw that too. Well, that's the pathway to truth, right? Did you see that? You experienced that? Humility is the recognition of personal insufficiency and the willingness to learn. So when you feel humiliated, you're like, oh, I'm not the best ever, and maybe I don't do things in the greatest, quickest way as I can. But you're still able to learn. You still want to learn to be better. You know that there are ways to build upon, and that's the way to do it, is by learning. To learn is to die voluntarily and be born again in great ways and small, because you already do things. You were born, you know how to eat, you know how to walk, blah blah blah. But if someone tells you how to do something in a different way, you have to change your entire mindset and what you already know. So that's kind of like dying, because you're letting go of what you already knew, and you're being born into a new person doing different things. So speech must be untrammeled, which means it must be clear when you talk, right? Your intentions and what you want to get across must be clear, so that dialogue can take place, so we can reach the truth, right? And we can all humbly learn, because you wanna get better. And then truth can serve love, because we're all learning and we're all speaking, so we all see the truth, and then truth can serve love. We can do the right things once we know what is going on and what needs to happen, so that suffering can be eliminated, so we can come to terms with it, or we can fix the problem. And that's how love is the answer. Love is always the answer. There's no way around it. There's just not. That's how you know shit's fucked up, because no one loves each other. There's no neighbors talking to neighbors, loving each other. People treating how they want to be treated. And that's a weird way to go too, because you don't know how some people want to be treated. Maybe some people are fucking monsters and they just want to be abused and they want to kill people and they want to do all this shit. But like, that's why you ban them out of society. There is possession, there are drugs, demons, blah blah blah. But like you said, dialogue needs to take in place. We all need to be better communicators, and we all need to love and be humble and all of that jazz. So we're reaching an hour, guys. I hope I dropped some information, knowledge. I know it's all choppy. I'll leave you with a poem that I wrote a long time ago. It's a sad poem, as they all are. And I wrote this a long time ago. This is how it first started off before I before I started rapping. I actually started with just writing like the saddest poems, letting it all out. And there's actually a way to improve your mind, is really letting out who you are, writing your story. It really changes your mind, and it's kind of like venting and also reviewing yourself, so which always leads to growth. But here you go. It's called The King of Hearts. Being as broken as he was, never giving up was his cause. Fighting to stay alive, love was never used to bribe. He assumed the same that they all were, but never named. They searched for his power, their lust led him nowhere, for he was the king of love. Except for control, everyone else was above. He could save a heart, warm the tundra, all hope lost in these soulless creatures that loved none. He kept the facade of darkness, for the women only wore the color of emptiness. They were hollow inside, craving to steal any emotion he had left. They wanted the light that illuminated his chest. They killed him during the day, yet this was known, for when any of light had faded away. And thank you for listening, guys. You guys have an amazing day. Spread love. Be expressive. Don't care about what anyone thinks unless they are in your corner, unless you love them. And I mean, at the end of the day, they're all just ideas. We're all just trying to be alive and try to do what's right. And there's not really a clear right when everyone has their own lives, their own ideals, but we still try to push through and love each other. And that's the most important thing, is just try, right? That's why this isn't the perfect podcast, but I'm trying, and eventually I'll grow. So yeah, love you guys.